Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another edition of Beneath Your Feet live on LOTROStream. I hope everyone is doing so well. I hope you had a wonderful holiday. I hope that it might be a pretty tame New Year here in the United States or wherever you are around the world. Might be pretty tame, a little less rowdy than years past, but hope you have a great New Year's Eve. We got Dogs 2018 checking in the chat. I hope you're doing well, Dogs. So, as I said, welcome to Beneath Your Feet. This is the show where we take a deep dive into one particular zone or area or town or region in the Lord of the Rings Online in preparation for my podcast. So it's kind of a research stream for the Beneath Your Feet podcast. And today we've heard some strange goings on occurring in Rohan. Last episode, which is up YouTube, everywhere fine podcasts are sold. We spent some time touring the many inns of Arda all around the Lord of the Rings Online with Mr. Scenario Matt Elliott of the Lord of the Rings Online dev team. Today, things are a little bit more nefarious. We are here on the wonderful Landreval server with Roxo, the Rock and Roll Hobbit. And as I said, we've gotten some strange news from Wildermore. And luckily, I'm already here in Rohan, so we're going to find out what the heck is going on over there in Wildermore by talking to Harwick. Which hopefully that, I got to log in again because that pop-up quest didn't pop up. So anyway, this gives me a little bit of time to talk a little bit more about what we're going to be doing tonight and how I need your help because I'm flying blind tonight. Generally speaking, I come into these streams a little bit prepared. Today, I'm a little bit sleepy. I didn't get that much sleep last night. I ate way too much pasta for dinner. And so suffice to say, we're heading into some dangerous territory. And so what that means is I need for you guys to chime in and let me know whatever you know about Wildermore, because that is where we're going tonight. We needed to find a place that was snowy and wintry and cold and, quite frankly, dangerous. And I've already done Winterhome. I've already done Misty Mountains. I've already done Forakel. I've already done Arid Luin. And so apart from Gundabad, we're kind of running out of options for snowy places. So that's why we're part of the reason why we're going to be going to Wildermore tonight. And as I said, the rumors have begun to spread of a growing concern in the wild reaches of Rohan, the lush land called Wildermore. So we're going to go check in with Harding to find out what the heck is going on. And we're going to take the long way because I got a few things I got to talk to you guys about. This will give us an opportunity to enjoy the lush hills of the fields of Celebrant and Eastern Rohan as we go. Unfortunately, it's nighttime here in Middle-earth. It's what it is. What are you going to do? So the other reason why I wanted to do Wildermore is because I haven't done it since it came out in 2013. The Wildermore Zone was released as part of, I think it was Update 8 in May of 2013. It was they don't always follow this pattern, but there tends to be at least one zone, one big update released between major expansions. Sometimes it's more than that. Gondor was dragged out over goodness knows how many updates. But Wildermore was the big update between the Riders of Rohan expansion and then the Helm's Deep expansion. And it kind of ties all of that together with the Isengard expansion, if my memory serves. That might be something else you guys can help me out with. And I haven't done it since it was released way back then, for a number of reasons. First of all, I have so many characters and so many alts. Those of you who are paying attention, you maybe saw my character page as I logged out and logged back in to grab that pop-up quest. I have so many. And back in the day, going from about... I played open beta, and I really got into it kind of just before Moria was released. So from about that time through the Rise of Isengard, I had at least 5 characters leveled and geared. I was a real addict. And then life circumstances changed, and we stepped away at that point, my wife and I. And when I came back, I had a lot of ground to catch up to. There was this new Bjorning class. And so I kind of leapfrogged my Bjorning over my main character, who was in West Rohan, straight to Gondor. And then this burglar, who's now kind of my second main, because I've been very busy on the Treebeard server, he was basically my crafting alt who I Valard because I wanted a burglar. And so he went straight to Minas Morgul, basically. And so I went back and I did many of the epics with Mr. Roxo here, but I never touched Rohan, and I definitely never touched Wildermore. So we're going to get a fresh pair of eyes, and this is beneficial for a few reasons. Number one, because I'll be able to go through all the quest text again, because I don't recall what the story here is at all. Many of us did the Midsummer Festival this year and the year past when it was launched. We had a long, boring conversation with Mr. Thrym Redbeard. So I remember him. I remember there being a frosty, giant, abominable person involved. That's about it. So we're going to go through some quests. We're going to read a lot of text, dig into the lore a little bit. We're going to snoop around to get the lay of the land and learn as much as we can about Wildermore. But you're not here for that, are you? What you're really here for is to find out who won the Beneath Your Feet giveaway. Because if you've not been paying attention, announced the last stream was a little just giveaway, little holiday community giveaway to both promote the podcast and give back to our wonderful community a little bit. By the way, I've been fighting this microphone all week, so if it sounds funny, just let me know. So as we are on this beautiful ride, we're going to take some time to announce our winners. Yeah, Dogs 2018 says that it was quite tough back in the day when it first came out, and I completely agree. Especially because if I remember correctly, we'll see, there were a lot of environmental effects that could mess with you. We'll see. There'll be some good wintry fun, though. All right, so let's get to the contest. So like I said, we did a little giveaway. The prizes were, number one, some tavern stickers to kind of celebrate the last episode. Number two, the Sam Gamgee starter kit, which basically gets you the riding skill and a horse for every character you ever make. And then the last one, the big prize, was a $25 Steam gift card. Because we can't really gift LOTRO points presently, we can still give you Steam points, which you can then flip around into LOTRO points. We had quite a few people enter. Everyone was super generous in subscribing to my YouTube channel, as well as giving me some love on the podcast mediums, sort of like especially iTunes. If you haven't seen my YouTube channel, I'll show you where it is. So what we did was everybody who entered, who gave a review, and then or liked and subscribed, and then entered, we put it in the Randomatic 1000, officially patented by Standing Stone Games for perfect random accuracy, and we drew a few winners. So let's find out who those are real quick, and then we'll get into the action. Gotta wet my whistle first. So, first of all, I was gonna say you need a better backdrop for this, but Harwick at Night is looking pretty good. I want to talk about all this stuff here in just a second, and the many outposts here in Rohan. That's a nit I like to pick in this game. All right, that's a suitable backdrop for what we're doing today. So let's talk about the winners real quick. For our first winner, the first prize being a beautiful set of tavern stickers, which I have around here somewhere. Where'd they go? Yeah, so these are actually a hot commodity. You'll notice I'm also on the left side of the room today here at Shoreless Mansion. So these are some out-of-print stickers by Natural One Designs over there on Etsy. So we've got like some potions and cool stuff like that. I think there's a full picture and all the promo art I've been doing. What else we got? A pub menu, all that kind of good stuff. So who will be receiving these? Congratulations to Proto Bedlam. Thank you very much. I'll be reaching out to you via email very soon. As I said, our second winner, or our second prize rather, was the Sam Gamgee starter pack, which, to reiterate, is gives you the riding skill for literally every character you make. So that's a pretty good deal. And the Randomator 10,000 is telling us that we can say congratulations to JBlack89. Thank you so much for entering the contest, and I will also be reaching out to you via email very soon. Let's call it 24 hours. And finally, the big winner for the $25 Steam card goes to Mr. Drew Taylor. Thank you so much, Drew. Expect an email very soon with the details on obtaining your $25 Steam gift card. So thanks to everyone who entered. Thanks to you for tuning in. Thanks to everybody. We have a really awesome community here with the Lord of the Rings Online. And it's great to be a part of here in my own small little way. All right. Now, to the business at hand. Let's get after it. As I said, we've been summoned to speak with Harding about the strange occurrences that have been happening at Wildermore, which, we'll get to that in a moment. I want to spend some time talking about these many buildings because, first of all, they did a tremendous job representing Rohan, I think, in the Lord of the Rings Online. But, I mean, here's my problem with it. And I think I've said this on many occasions. I maybe even said it on the last stream. There should not be this many settlements in the Lord of the Rings in Rohan. Okay, so I know we gotta have quest hubs. We gotta have, people to give us quests. We gotta have awesome architecture to show off the many textures that the Lord of the Rings Online design team have created. We'll talk more about that in a second because there's a cool thing happening on Reddit. But really, are there really this many settlements and giant mead halls like this happening in Rohan? All right, my computer's being a little bit fussy, so if the chop continues, we will knock the graphic settings down a little bit. Anyways, what do you have for us, Alder Harding? He says, "Well met again, Roxo. Thank you for coming to me in this strange time. I am concerned for my northern domain, the land of Wildermore. The trade routes there have never been so quiet before. Many who venture there have not returned. Will you investigate for me? I hear rumors, but they sound more like old wives' tales to me. Nonetheless, something is surely amiss." Sure, we'll check it out. That's the only voice acting I'm doing tonight, by the way. Don't get too excited. Alright, so something's going on in Wildermore. Let's go find out exactly what it might be. I'm going to get back on my soapbox here for a second, because look, we explored all the awesome mead halls like this all over Rohan. You can buy your own if you invest in the premium housing in Rohan, and it just looks so good and it's so cool and cozy. But I mean, really, let's have a look. Let's put the map up and see what's going on here. Check this out. I'm trying to tell you. Actually, we're in Rohan, so I'm going to need my war steed, aren't I? Let's dust off the old war steed for a moment, if we can load. Okay, bop bop. All right. So, anyways. Look at this. This is just the walled. Okay, and this is my biggest gripe. And I'm going to tell you why. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish, 6, at least 6, like, full towns. Like, embattled fortifications. To say nothing of the rest of East Rohan. With all these other settlements. Now, they all look great. There's great stories to tie them all together that fit kind of snugly within the lore. But I mean, really, this my gripe with the Walled in particular is because there is a line specifically in the book. I'm going to botch it because I can't remember it exactly. But one of the Rohirrim, the riders, is talking to, I believe it's Éomer. Maybe it's Théoden. I can't remember. But he says how he camps on the Wold at certain times of year. He camps out here because there are no towns. Éomer is specifically surprised to see the three hunters, Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli, because nobody lives on the Wold. It's just basically deserted. And it is not deserted because they sent everybody away because of the bad guys encroaching. I might be wrong on this. You guys let me know in the chat. I don't know. But it's abandoned because it's just grazing land for their horses. And so, again, I understand the intricacies involved in creating a massively multiplayer online game. You got to have quest hubs. You got to have settlements. You can't just have, what's the basic Minecraft world? The basic, the grasslands with nothing in them. But, I mean, look, we got another giant fort right here in visible distance of Harwick. That's all. I'll get off my high horse now. Pun intended. All right, so let's get to Wildermore. As I said, I've not done this in about 10 years, so you all jump in the chat and let me know any of the highlights I need to hit. the plan for tonight is to do more of like a traditional kind of questing stream, which I don't normally do because there are plenty of brilliant streamers out there doing questing and general gameplay, like the Green Eyed Gamer and Ang Dang and Louis Seven and all those guys. So I like to mix it up a little bit, like some of the other streamers here on LOTROStream. If you missed it, every Tuesday, not just once a month like me, B4 does a show specifically about plugins. And I've never been so interested in plugins as I was today. So make sure you check into that one. Dog 2018 says the epic storyline is good. We'll see. I barely remember it. Obviously, you don't forget an ice giant. Spoiler alert. But that's really all I remember. I don't remember how Saruman fits in and all that stuff. But we're going to find out. All right, so here we are in Wildermore. And already we can kind of see the problem. Because it should be snowing here in Rohan. At this point in the story, we are still... Let me crunch some numbers here. Where are we in the kind of Lord of the Rings timeline? December... This is early 3018. So it is wintertime, but it's too far south to be this snowy, really. Hence why I picked it for the winter stream, the Christmas holiday stream. The other thing to remember about Rohan is that it doesn't exist in the text. What's up, bud? Let's get him. Yeah. Been so long since I did mounted combat. I'm gonna take it slow. Yeah, Wildermore doesn't exist in the text. This should just be part of the world, and so that kind of makes sense that they would, put it kind of under the charge of Harding, who's the leader of the world. But it wouldn't be its own distinct region. It would just be part of the world because geographically we kind of have the Misty Mountains there on the western side. We've got the Fangorn to kind of the southwest, and then the rest of Rohan, specifically the Wold, to the east. And we're kind of up on this high mesa. We don't really get an idea for the elevation just yet, but we will soon. Yeah, you can kind of see where we are. We're certainly at a higher elevation. You can kind of get the idea that we're higher up. Very rocky, which is kind of interesting. Since, we're not that close to the Misty Mountains. But I guess it would make sense if we'd have these kind of rock formations. Alright, here we go. Here's some bros. Some bro hearing. We've arrived at a camp of rugged but friendly-looking warriors with one man standing out from the rest. Alright, so we got a settlement steed just popped up. I do like to turn the UI off and on. Because, after all, this show is really about highlighting the geography and the world building as much as possible. So we don't want the UI interfering with that. All right, so Thrym tells us, Harding sent you, did he? He is right to be concerned. I am Thrym Redbeard, the leader of these men, the protectors of Wildermore. Sure, bud. Let's do it.
I am afraid of what is happening.
Wildermore has always been a green land with mild winters. We have never encountered a snow such as these before. As long as I can remember, I must prepare these men for battle against orcs, for they have crept in with the cold. But if you are offering your aid, you may investigate the effects of the weather on our land. Yes, let's do it. Let's do it, buddy. It's tempting to do all these yeah, we'll do it. Well, like I said, we don't want to bore anybody, but we're already out here doing the stuff, so let's check it out. Let's find out what's going on with these berries exactly. Look how cute my pony is, my burglar. So right away, kind of where we are here in the Rhythm Downs, the effects of the cold don't seem to be too severe, and the map kind of gives us away a little bit. It's obviously it's snowing. We got patches of collected snow here, but nothing too major just yet. All right, let's see what we can see here. Hi, horses. Pond is frozen solid, an unusual occurrence in the... Yeah, I know. Oh. Well, I think it was at Rohan actually when these pop-up quests became a thing. And I gotta tell you, they're pretty nice. All right. And you guys remind me, because if I forget, I'm gonna forget to read the quest text. So make sure you remind me to do that so we can dig in as much as possible here. So we've heard from Dog 2018. Anybody else out there have any memories from when this zone launched those many years ago? Oh yeah, Dog says the best thing about Rohan was hit bold. I think I agree with that. Because it's fun to see the effects of your actions like immediately, or it's fun to see the town being rebuilt and things of that nature. So I quite like that, and I like that they did. They went all out with the come on, brain, the cosmetics and the housing stuff. It was so cool. I still use some of that in like my inn that I made. The kegs and the shelves and things like that. Oh, this creature appears to have succumbed to the cold. I wouldn't call a cow a critter, but okay. Where to next? I genuinely don't, know what the best way to do mounted combat is. I do like the rotating camera, but we shall see. Set as quest guide focus. Back around this way. Rohan Drift, baby. Beat it. That was easy. All right, what are we looking for here at this last frozen pond? Uh-oh. Not a log. It's a log. Hello, Lou Blood Moon, chiming in from Portugal. Thanks for stopping by. I have, how do you say The Lord of the Rings in Portuguese? So I know, was it the Herr der Ringen in German? El Rey de las Arnillas in Spanish. How do you say it in Portuguese? If you don't mind. I know it's late over there. While I deal with these orcs. Tree. We got a frozen tree. We got a frozen cow. And we got a frozen pond. What is going on? Alright. We're going to go find out. Let's go talk to Thrym Redbeard. I also believe there was a Volume 3 epic book that went with this. I'm curious to see if that will be bestowed. Because again, as I said, I did not get to this part in Volume 3 just yet. I'm only so far as Dunland on this character. So I shall have to go back and figure that out. El Señor de dos Anís. Very good, thank you. Similar to Spanish, a little bit. Let's get some berries and we'll head back. So, Blood Moon, do you read it in English or do you read it in Portuguese or both? Or I'm assuming you've read the book. I don't know if you've read it or not, actually. The berries are badly spoiled by frost. Oh no! One thing I am noticing is that they have this the same music as Forakill. It's their the official snowy music. It says there's one more berry over here, I think. Yeah, there it is. I was rewatching to go somewhat off topic. I'll tell you why it's on topic here in a second. I've been watching the old Anthony Bourdain Cooks tour on YouTube because somebody put him up. I'm assuming it's legal. It might not be. And he did an excellent episode in various places in Portugal. And man, I want to go there. It was absolutely beautiful, and the food looked tremendous. And I say it's only somewhat tangential because the inspiration for Beneath Your Feet was in part Bourdain and his various television shows. A few other influences too, because I mean it is a podcast. But I thought, how cool would it be to try to do something like a scripted TV show where you're exploring around, but in the Lord of the Rings Online. Oh, that's great. Blood Moon. That's excellent that you can read in English. The the closest thing I can say to having a second language is Spanish, and my Spanish is pretty bad. Yeah, I could probably find my way around if I needed to, but it's pretty bad. So I admire anybody who is multilingual. All right, now we're going to go talk to Thrym and find out more about what in the world is going on here. I do like how the gradient, I guess we'll use the word gradient, of frost that's going on in the zone. And I think we know it's going to deepen the further along we go. I do remember that much. But I do like that they didn't just plunk us into a frozen wasteland all of a sudden. I think it's very cool, the care that they tend to put into spots like this. Because even where... Am I going the right way? Yeah. Because even the area we just were, it had patches of melted snow and areas that were more frozen. And I think that does a lot for setting the vibe, if you like, as we head into deeper and deeper into Hitbold. All right. We need more information through him, Redbeard.
I am afraid of what is happening.
Our Reeve Garwick must be warned of the effects of the cold. Skilfig is the nearest town, and we should hurry there to brace for an orc attack. Yeah, sounds good.
These are desperate times.
We should leave for Skilfig now, for any of my scouts tell me that an orc attack looms near. We tried to cut them down on the field, but for everyone we felt, Tubor took its place. Yeah, sure. Oh, wait, what was that? Oh, right. I forgot that his special lady was involved. Yes, Thane Kinnegar is his father-in-law to be. There's a romantic angle. Yeah, Blood Moon is talking about how things can sometimes be lost in translation. You're absolutely correct. So I think that's great that you're, number one, that you speak English well enough to read The Lord of the Rings, which is not a simple book. And you're absolutely correct. Because that was something that Tolkien debated with some of his translators, because he was, a philologist and a linguist by trade. And so if you ever read the letters of Tolkien, you'll see that he had some scruples with his translators and the way they interpreted certain things in his text. So it's not a bad instinct to want to read things in the orig if you can. Okay. Yep. Simple farmer folk, etc., etc. We live off the land. We're going to freeze and die. Gotcha. Let's go. Can we make it up this hill? I'm all about the shortcuts. Yes, sir. Let's go. Oh, Ridge Racer. But what he says makes sense, because from what we know of Rohan, they are essentially as he just described. We have really both. You have the soldiers and the warriors, and you have the sort of farming class, and often those two would have overlapped. We don't get too many details in that regard. The warrior I mentioned at the beginning, who was also a herder on the wold, would be an example. But one thing that you must always bear in mind whenever we talk about the Brohirrim is that they are essentially, at least envisioned by Tolkien and then later kind of explicated by guys like Tom Shippey and Corey Olsen, the Tolkien professor, who was also on the LOTROStream team. One thing they often describe, and that I've learned from them, is how the Rohirrim were essentially reimagined Anglo-Saxon warriors, the reimagining part being their horses, because Tolkien loved horses, even though historically the Anglo-Saxons were not a great riding people. And so if we can kind of take that sort of era of history, the sort of late 10th, early 11th century and around that time, and plug that into the Rohirrim, then I think that gives us a lot of ideas about what we can kind of expect from them. And so even though the Anglo-Saxons weren't Vikings, they kind of lived in that time. And even the Vikings that we all are fascinated by were agricultural farmers and hunters and gatherers as much as they were raiders. Raiding was almost like a supplement to the natural work they did with agriculture and so on. So when we talk about the Rohirrim, and Threem here mentions that they are basically farmers and fighters, that rings true to me. Okay, so now we're in the thick of winter. We see the snow piles everywhere. We see the frosted stone fences and things of that nature. We can see that the unnatural winter has really set in. And like I said, the epic story kind of tells this, if I remember correctly, some more clearly. I'm just afraid I missed it, so I might pop over to the wiki real quick and see if I missed it, or maybe we'll get it from this guy. I can't remember.
I am afraid of what is happening to these lands.
I am the legendary hero of East Endman. I don't mind telling you. Sure, let's prepare for battle. That sounds great.
These are desperate times.
We're gonna find Kunneberg, his daughter. Yeah, sure, we'll help her out. But first, we're gonna have a drink. As I pop over to the wiki. Let's see. What does he got to say here?
These are desperate times.
Now we're gonna skip that bit. Oops, bad move. Streaming 101, you don't go drunk on camera. So let's pop over to the wiki and see what we can find about the epic story. Epic Volume 3, Book 10, The Snows of Wildermore. Chapter 1, Exiles. Okay, so this picks up, those of you who have played through Volume 3, you know about Horn and Corridon and Nona. This picks up from their story way back in Entwade. So I wonder if we should go back there. You guys can tell me. We could go back there and try out this drunk effect. And pick up the epic story from where it goes. But I don't know. Let's turn that off so you guys don't have to suffer the bad decisions that Roxo made here. I think what we'll do is we'll kind of crack on here. We don't need to do a side quest going to continue with the epic. We can peek at that later. Let's kind of proceed here and meet Kunneberg and see what we can learn about Wildermore. We'll see how far we get. I find this time of year, I don't know if you guys feel this way too, I find that any gaming with Christmas lights, like I've been playing a lot of Traveler's Rest, my family loves Animal Crossing, obviously the Yule Fest here in the Lord of the Rings Online and so on. Man, I love gaming like that. It's so cozy, especially here in the South where we rarely have snow and we're having, speaking of an unnaturally cold winter here in Wildermore, we're having an unnaturally, maybe not unnatural, we're having an unusually warm winter here in the southern United States. So it's nice to be among, in some snow, even if it's just on a screen. Okay, so we're going to do some manual labor here. We are the humble heroes of the Third Age. I heard recently the player characters in Lord of the Rings Online described as Gandalf's intern. I like that. I think that rings true. So even though I am obviously the greatest hero of the Third Age in my own mind, I don't mind delivering some supplies. All right, deliver the wood slats to the wagon east, where we're going west. Deliver the barrel of arrows to the wagon west. Okay. Okay, wagon. Wagon, okay. Now, what is Saruman's game plan here, really? That's kind of what I'm getting at. Because, it's going to be a big battle. We're going to win because Roxo, the miraculous Hobbit burglar, is here. But that's one part of the epic story I really want to get to. What is Saruman's motivation here? He's frozen the land through that giant whose name I can't remember. And he's sending in his poor orcs, who are freezing and griping, no doubt. And what is this? Is this going to the big plan to be? This will be like a foothold with which to invade Rohan. I guess that makes sense. All right, lady. What else you got? Sun's coming up. That's good. We'll get a much better view and a much better lay of the land as we proceed here.
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
Oh, guess I do have to go back and get that other quest. All right. Up you get. Come on, Concord. What about you, good people around the world? Are you having a snowy winter? I hope that you are. As someone who loves snow but never sees snow, I hope that you are. You might be sick of snow depending on where you live in the world.
I do not know if we will survive this onslaught.
Yeah, sure. Let's get ready for war. That seems to be a big thread in these Rohan quests. Makes sense because Rohan is so big, but just going from one spot to another. Warning people. What's up, dude? Oh, he called me a strong soldier. He doesn't remark on the fact that I'm a little halfling and all. Fair? That's fair.
These are desperate times.
Okay, bud. Sounds good. And we gotta talk to Grimgar and Garsig. Then I think it's really time to hit the road.
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
Yeah, sure. It would take a great army of orcs to conquer Skullfig because it's unnaturally large. Never snows in Lisbon. Oh, I'm so sorry, Blood Moon.
These are desperate
We all just need to
for the Rohirrim.
get on the Standing Stone private jet and fly to Norway. Just have a real winter. Alright, we got some brave Brohirrim here to keep an eye on things when the orcs arrive.
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
She's excited to fight. That's cool. Cool.
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
Thought I heard orcish sounding horn blow in the distance. I believe the time for battle has come. Alright, we're getting a little sidetracked here. Getting a little sidetracked. Because we need to get out there exploring the lands. What I might have to do, which I do from time to time during the research portion for the podcast, is just dig around on LOTRO Wiki and see what I can see when it comes to the actual story. I want to get after the lay of the land. So let's do this solo quest, and then we're going to hit the road and see what's going on out there. The mysteries of Saruman might have to wait to another day. Yeah, sure, I'll fight her alongside you. I'm extremely overleveled as it is. Dog says that it does snow in the UK, but it rarely stays. I get that. Very shirely. There he is. Okay. Let's go through him, Redbeard. Let's do it. Let's do it. Don't mind me. Just a sneaky boy. Sneaking around. Okay, I guess that guy's okay, right? Yeah, sure, I'll help you. No problem. Thank you. What's going on over here? This seems a bit... Oh, okay. Just takes 3 of them to beat up that orc. No worries. It's getting cold. Oh my. Dogs, you are welcome to ask as many questions as you like. I'm a okay burglar, and I shall do my best to answer your question. Speak with Grimgod and see how he's holding up. Okay, it's getting real frosty, boys and girls. Oh, you worked in the Netherlands, Blood Moon. That's so cool. Yeah. When I lived in the southern United States when I was a kid, we moved to the northern United States, and it snowed in April. And we felt the same way. Very magical.
I do not know if we will survive this onslaught.
What is that sound? The gate. Okay, maybe I'm not getting sidetracked. Maybe we're about to come upon something very interesting. Maybe a very interesting plot point. Hello. There he is. We have achieved Ner'zhum. He just sent me flying backwards. What a jerk. What is this new evil? It's Krampus. It is not. I mean, you know, say what you want about Saruman. He does train his frost giants to be polite. They said, "What is this?" He introduced himself. It's very nice. Okay, he's just gonna yell at us. Let's go talk to Thrym. Oh, hey, buddy.
Our mission is dire.
This is not good. I agree. That's a very strong understatement, Thrym Redbeard. But okay, that's what we like about you, bud. Yeah, let's go to the meat hall. Swiftly now, we must protect the people in the meat hall from that giant, massive beast over there. Yeah, I'd say that's true. All right, dogs. Let me chase down. Oh, let me chase down Mr. Redbeard here, and then I shall answer your question as best as I'm able. Yeah. I know. Come on, let's go. I know the score. With the last line of defense, Skinagar and Garsig will attempt to stop the giant. We must defend the folk of the meat hall with our lives. Father, no, don't. You can't let him do this. Foolhardy, maybe. This man is going up against a 20-story tall giant. He has indeed. Ooh, it doesn't look good. Boy, bye. See ya. Oof. It's rough. Whatever happened, you and Kunneberg must protect the meat hall. Okay, let's see what happens, old Thrym Redbeard here. He's going to draw the giant away from Schoolfig before all is lost. It's so dramatic. Aw, he loves her. This is the real heart-wrenching stuff you pay to see. She can't even look his way. She's so distraught. I understand. He's doing... Oh. Bye-bye. Bye. He just got chucked like Peyton Manning just chucked him over the wall there. He pulled a Hail Mary. That's what he did to him. Okay. I don't know what I'll do without them. We'll figure it out. I've helped many a distraught adventurer in my day. I'm a professional after all. Okay, so Dogs 2018 asks. That is a good question. So Dogs 2018 wants to know if you can play the burglar class and do mostly sneaking, less fighting. I will say absolutely, but okay. Here's my 2 cents here. That's part of the reason why I absolutely love playing as burglar, is because you can sneak through the nonsense. And she's in a bad way. Sorry.
I'm afraid of what is happening to these lands.
We'll go see who else we can talk to who's not quite as distraught. So I love it because you can sneak through all the nonsense if you're careful. If you're sneaking with on-level enemies around, you just walk on top of them. They're gonna find you. But you can sneak past a lot of nonsense, and then just, you know, if it's you got to go kill this boss or collect this stuff, you can do that and then get out. And so, I wouldn't say you're fighting rarely, but you're fighting a lot less. Another trick you get at a certain level is this skill right here, hide in plain sight. I think you get that level 50 if I'm remembering correctly. I could go back and check. But what this does is it drops you into stealth immediately. It removes all of your conditions, and all the enemies disengage. And so a trick I like to do is I'll just barge into wherever I need to go, find the thing I need to find, hit my hide in plain sight, and Bob's your uncle. I'm good to go. The trouble I ran into is playing my champion on Treebeard, who's my other main character. You can't do that. You have to fight your way out. So it kind of messed with my brain a little bit when it came to that. So shorter answer is yes, you can do a lot less fighting as a burglar, but there's really no way around fighting in this game. I am interested in seeing someone do like non-combat leveling, which would involve crafting and non-combat quests. I think that's totally possible because a lot of quests are just finding things, or you could also get lots of XP for doing exploration deeds and things like that. So I think a non-combat leveling in the Lord of the Rings Online is entirely possible. It's just going to be very difficult. But with Burglar, yes, you can avoid a lot of fighting just by sneaking around. But you're still going to have to fight because this is an action MMO after all. So poor Oswi here has never seen anything like this. Yeah, we'll clear some of this. Then we're going to find out what the heck is going on around here. Good night, Blood Moon. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Dogs, you got your next 12 months sorted. Yeah, you can have a lot of fun. It's almost, you could call it metagaming with the Burglar. Just sneaking around and finding things to do and ways of getting into trouble. It's a lot of fun. I like it a lot. It's oh my, sorry, buddy.
These are desperate.
This horse is trapped. Oh no! We'll help you. Yeah, it's super fun. It's super convenient because I'm quite lazy, and a lot of times I just want to get the thing done, and so being able to just sneak in, do what you got to do, and sneak out is super convenient. I did get into a fair bit of trouble with gun to bad leveling though for that reason. Dogs, thanks for stopping by. I know it's super late there in Europe. I appreciate y'all staying up late and hanging out with me a little bit. We'll see you around. Keep an eye out for this episode. Should be out in a couple weeks. But I did get into trouble with good to bad leveling because I tried to be too sneaky. And I would end up de-stealthing at the wrong place and getting swarmed. Alright. Let's see what Kunenberg has to say. Then it's time to get the heck out of here. Cheers, dogs. Thank you. In my kinship on Treebeard, Not So Hasty, are two illustrious leaders. One of them being B4, who I mentioned, and Little Redhead. She also has a show on here. They're expats who live in the Netherlands, and so they're often up late as well.
I am afraid of what is happening to these lands.
Okay, so big twist. We saw Thrym get chucked. We haven't seen the body yet. What's gonna happen? All right. So it's time to leave here. I'm going to switch to my war steed, and we're just going to drive around and get a lay of the land here before we end our show tonight, because it is a big zone. We've only seen a teeny bit of it. So let's kind of keep this rig rolling. Hello. As we engage in mounted combat, Rohan Drift. I'm curious to see what else is going on. We're not following the quest at this point. We're just going to scope out some different places. So the Rithen Downs, the Rithen always sounds like wither to me. I don't know if that's the etymology of that word. Downs, of course, are hills. A null is also basically a word for a hill. You'll find, if you haven't noticed already, many of the names of locations in the Lord of the Rings Online are quite literal, even if they are masked with that kind of antique English that Tolkien liked to use, or they're just from a different language entirely, whether it's Khazd-dûl or I believe they used Welsh for Dunland. They're still pretty on the nose, so like the rock up there would be called the rock up there without many surprises. So the Heinel appears to be less snowy here. I wonder why that is. I guess let's pause my horse here and think about this for a second. So here is Isengard. Here's Fangorn. Here's where we are. It's probably safe to assume that Saruman sent Ner'zhum, the frost giant, with all of his ice magic. Still don't have a lot of information on him yet, and I can't remember it. So I'm going to be doing a lot of reading on LOTRO wiki this week. Sends him over the mountains into Wildermore. And so if, you know, I remember correctly, the idea is that as Ner'zhum's power grows and he, brings his wintry magic, whatever the heck it is, uh, the frost kind of spreads. So I guess it makes sense that if we are up here in the high knolls, we're kind of away from where the kind of confluence of his power is. So I guess it makes sense that this would be less snowy than the rest. Nothing too spectacular yet as far as tucked away places. What's up, goat? By the way, that is my Christmas wish to all of you. Traditionally, Christmas goes until January 6th, so I got a lot of time to offer you some Christmas wishes. My Christmas wish to all of you is that you get the Yule goat in your golden Hobbit boxes. If you're a VIP, you get those every Friday. If you're not, you got to spend the Mithril coins. The Yule Fest goes until the 2nd, and so I hope that all of you get the Wintry Yule goat. It's just a little baby goat. He's wearing a sweater, and it's so cute. Okay, I'm done. Making our way around the high knolls. Let's see if we can get a better view of what's going on around here. Hopefully the first-person camera mode isn't too disorienting. If anybody doesn't like it, just let me know, and we can fix it. But I think coming up here is going to give us a good idea of what we're looking at. All right, let's see. Let's try it here. Because I think we're looking... Okay, so first of all, this is the Kuthstan. We're looking over the river. What river would this be? This would be the river Limelight to the Kuthstan, which I did an episode on that if you're interested to learn some more. But we're looking northwards there. Let's look eastwards and westwards, see what we can see. Bad weather up here. The best part is going to be finding my way down. Luckily, another fun trick, being a burglar, is that I have safe fall. And I sometimes wonder if safe fall gets me into more trouble than it saves me from. Because I could be up on top of Ministerial and I'm like, I could make it. I can make that jump. And I actually can't. Because safe fall wasn't meant to protect you from that. Stop. Oh, here we go. It's happening. YOLO. That's embarrassing. So we lost our vantage point, but that's quite alright. My horse apparently I don't have safe fall equipped for my mounted combat build because I just don't do it that much. Let's get one more shot to get a nice view of what we're looking at here. Love the textures. There is a great, if you ever use Reddit, there's a great series of threads happening. I can't remember the name of the person who's constructing these, but they're calling it the texture of the day. And they zoom in super close on some of these textures, like these gorgeous looking pine trees here. And they just highlight how good some of this stuff looks. Everybody likes to say, oh, some people just don't like the way the Lord of the Rings Online looks. Some people are foolish. And then some other people say, well, it looks good for a 15 or whatever year old game. But really, the textures in this game are extraordinary. So pop over to the LOTRO subreddit if you're interested in that. Alright, so we're coming back down off the high knoll now. Seeing what we can see. This doesn't look too good. Beer Tour is overrun with orcs. That's not good. I don't know what Byre means, but Tor means hill. We see that in the books first at the battle that the Fellowship has with the Wargs before they enter Moria. And that's where Gandalf really... It's one of the few times you really see Gandalf just go ham with his fire ring. And the whole place gets lit up. Not unlike the episode with the wolves in The Hobbit. So that's called the Burnt Tor. So Tor means hill. I don't know what Byre means. Here we go. Now we're getting a better view of exactly what's going on here. We can imagine what would be this green, verdant, typical Rohirric landscape. But it's totally frosted over, And I love these little spires of ice from here to there. They're so menacing. And again, as I'm remembering, and as I will continue to research before we put the episode together, these spires are somehow tied to the giant Nerzoom and its power as it kind of spreads across the land. And man, it's a fun contrast because it's this beautiful wintry landscape, which makes me feel all cozy and Christmassy. But then you see these spikes sticking out of the ground, and you're reminded, oh yeah, we're being terrorized. We're being terrorized by a giant ice monster. That's what it is. Let's consult the map here, see what else we have to see. Lots of pop-up quests, of course. Okay, so we just spied Byre Tor. We're in the Witshaws now. Wit meaning white. A shaw is it's basically just like a field. If I remember correctly, it's like a farm. So I'm sure the quest text kind of speaks to this, but it gets to, this being the farmlands of this region. Anyway, we'll come back to that later. Let's crack on. Let's go check out the wood over here. See what we can see, because I think this is the edge of Fangorn. That's really what we're getting at over here. No, we don't need to go higher up. Let's head back down. I think we're gonna have another YOLO incident here. Nope, this is yep. Relusion on our war steed. Okay, so we'll get back to the road and then we'll head northwards, it looks like. So this whole area kind of has me curious. Like, this was just underdeveloped forest the Rohirrim just didn't get to yet, that didn't touch. Hello, that's a massive ice spike. I have a feeling that's going to play into our story later on. There you go, Nerzoom's Wrath. What's up, warbands? Wow, this is so cool. I totally forgot about this area. Okay, let's see if we can connect this to Fangorn, because we are in the neighborhood of Fangorn. So I don't know if this is like technically adjacent to Fangorn, if it's part of the same wood. You see how the frost has just wrecked all of these trees. Let's get off the track here for a second and see what we can see. What's up, horse? Okay, let's pause here for a second. Okay, so here's the Bale Wood, and I do remember this distinctly. You can go all the way down the road here, and it dead ends. So it doesn't actually get you anywhere. The Eaves of Fangorn are here. There's no particular connection on the landscape from the Eaves of Fangorn over to Wildermore. Goodness gracious. And I think that's about as deep as we actually get into Fangorn, but now I can't remember. Let's see. I'm gonna go Nankuranir. Because if you go up here, that gets you to Fangorn, right? And let's see. You can obviously cross into Rohan here after you get a certain point in the story. Well, now I'm just curious. I don't know that I have the time to make the run all the way. So I guess technically, if we're here at the edge of Wildermore, then yeah, this is a part of Fangorn. So it becomes easy to imagine the Ents getting pretty mad about all this. Okay. I'm just going somewhere random because I need to pull up this menu. Let's do Entwood. Yeah, okay. Okay. Very interesting. Wildermore. Okay. Very interesting. So that's something to consider as we think about the epic story and how it connects to Saruman, because there is, of course, Saruman, the element of Saruman kind of overlooking Fangorn. And I wonder if all this plays into that. Okay, let's proceed. See what else we can see. It says these amazing ice crystals. Let's look at these for a second. Let's go off the beaten trail here a little bit, see what we can see. Yes, this is like even the sort of atmospheric filters, I don't know what you call those, that make the light a little dimmer and a little, it's like a purplish blue hue as well, is a great way to capture the fact that that's really the belly of the beast. Like that's where his power, Nuzurm's power, is coming from. The Elder Wood. This seems a little more reasonable, right? It's not as wily and out of control as where we just were, especially if we consider that to be somewhat connected to Fangorn Forest. And here we can get a quick view of just how high up we are. That's Fangorn down there in the distance. Hello, come on. Yeah, there we go. Don't want to fall off. There's Fangorn there in the distance. We're just kind of up on this massive outcropping. This massive mesa, I think, would be the appropriate word. And we haven't even gotten to the chief settlement of Wildermore just yet. So I think that's kind of where our journey today will end. I want to grab a quick screenshot here. I always forget to grab interesting screenshots to use as those YouTube thumbnails. But this one is looking pretty good. All right, so we're going to head down the road to Forlaw and see what we can see. And we can even see, being close to those ice spires, the frost effect around the screen there. Chills you to the very bone. Ooh. I forgot about that. That's so cool. And here we have another great shot of Forlaw there in the distance, which is an interesting design choice because you have, if I remember correctly, we'll see in a second, the town here, and there's that great outcropping of rock over the bridge leading to the mead hall. It's a very cool design. Now, let's talk about mooses here for a second. Were there really mooses in Rohan? I don't think so. Mooses tend to colder climes. So if Wildermore was a historically very mild region, did these mooses just show up? Did word get out on Moose Twitter that Wildermore was getting quite cold and the moose community head in that direction? I don't know. Too many questions. And then we can kind of see this, if we follow that road, we're back to the Wold where we began there when Harding sent us on this little mission. Okay, here we are. The principal town of Wildermore and Forlaw. I'm still freezing though. Is this some kind of condition effect? What does this say? Intense cold. Oh wow, that's a 2-minute. I wouldn't call it a debuff. Because it didn't really affect me that much. But it's not pleasant having that around your screen. And again, I'm hit by the contrast of these cozy, wintry vistas that are so pleasing with the fact that these poor people are being terrorized by a massive ice giant. And I just fell in the freezing water. Don't worry about me. I am okay. So what did we learn today? We learned a little bit about some of the geography of Wildermore and the spreading effect of Ner'zhum's magic. We didn't get that deep in the story, simply for time's sake and because I haven't done this. So that leaves me with a few more questions that need answering, which I will most certainly do in the days ahead, as I kind of work towards producing this episode. More importantly, we got some great wintry vistas, because that's really what this is all about, right? We just want to see the cool places in Middle Earth and how impressive they can be. And we learned that Thrym Redbeard has about the same sort of physical properties as a football, as he was chucked daringly into the hills of Wildermore. Did he survive? Well, if you've played this part before, you know the answer to that question. And we talked a little bit about the sort of warrior farmer culture, at least in my mind, of Rohan. And so I think we got a lot to work on here. We got a lot to work on and a lot to work with here in Wildermore. So I want to thank you guys all for joining me in my little exploration this evening, especially our European friends. I appreciate you guys staying up late and hanging out with me. I hope that you all have a wonderful week. If you do happen to think of something that I must see in Wildermore that must make it into the podcast episode, you can hit me up most readily on Twitter at Shoreless Skies. Excuse me. And of course, you can check out the Beneath Your Feet podcast, which is on YouTube, which I linked before. It is on, I used Anchor, but the nice thing about Anchor is it puts it everywhere. So if you just look up LOTRO Beneath Your Feet, or you head to lotrobyf.blogspot.com, you'll find all the latest episodes ready for your consumption. So like I said, they're up on YouTube, they're up on Spotify, and all that kind of stuff. And let's see. Once again, congratulations to all of our giveaway winners. I'll be emailing you guys within the next day or so. And to you viewers, thanks again for stopping by. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful evening and a happy new year. I will see you on the last Tuesday of January for my next episode. And I look forward to talking to all of you all then. Bye-bye.